So I first went vegan in 2007, which is not far off like 20 years ago now. Do you guys always ask me what it was like to be vegan back then? A time before oat milk lattes, before every restaurant had a vegan option, and before people even knew what the word vegan actually was. So I thought in this video it'd be fun to kind of like take you back in time and do the 2007 vegan diet, which is basically eating what was available at the time when I first went vegan. The 2007 vegan diet was about grit, resourcefulness, and just really putting together what you could. And I feel like it is something that's really stuck to my cooking habits, even all these years later. Like I say, we had no oat milk lattes, no Beyond Burgers, and barely a vegan menu in sight. It really meant surviving on accidentally vegan foods, health store finds, and pretty much throwing together what you could from what was on the supermarket shelves. And I just think this is going to be such a fun video to do. It's been on my list for a while, and I'm just excited to kind of show you guys what it was like when I first went vegan, like back in the day. I guess I'm just basically doing a back in my day video, and I'm excited to bring you guys along for it. Obviously, I don't have a time machine, so we are going to have to use a little bit of imagination when we're going back in time to 2007. I am going to have some granola for breakfast with some pears that I've just baked in the oven with a bit of syrup and cinnamon. For example, this particular brand of granola was not around when I first went vegan, but the general style of it was available in the health food store, and it was something that we would eat. So I feel like the vibe is there. So granola, baked pears, and some non-dairy milk. Whilst there are definitely so many more non-dairy milks available today, I will say that there was still a good amount of them available when I first went vegan in 2007, thanks to the dairy-free community, those with allergies mostly back then. I think they made up the majority of the audience there. I feel like these days oat milk is kind of king with the alternate milks, but back in the day I'd probably say it was soy. And also I'd say Outpro was probably the big leader. It's definitely a stretch for me to try and think back to 2007 because I was like 13 at the time. Like that was a long time ago now. There wasn't really social media then. I didn't start YouTube nearly that early, and Instagram wasn't around until what, like 2010? So I don't have like photos of my food and meals from the olden days, from like my early vegan days to really go off of. But yeah, I'll do my best. Oh, these pears are so nice. I take my coffee black, and I'm very confident that's because when I first went vegan, it was virtually impossible to find somewhere with soy milk, or everyone complained it always curdled. So yeah, no choice in the matter. I just learned to enjoy a coffee black. Yeah, a lot of this was not around back in 2007. We did have tofu. I can grab tofu. But yeah, a lot of stuff here, absolutely not. Corn did basically nothing vegan for the longest time. Definitely did not have nearly this much vegan cheese or cream. Yeah, we did not have this. Some of these sorts of things have been around for a long time. Don't remember exactly when. Cocoa Pops actually was vegan when I first went vegan. Yeah, there's no dairy in it, but the vitamin D, the source, is not vegan vitamin D. No, no, no. Yes, yes, yes. Absolutely not. These have actually been around since forever, the little Swedish glaze, since 1990. And I used to get this, but it is, I believe, Unilever, so I wouldn't buy it now. Yeah. Okay, so food shop. I got Linda McCartney sausages. These have been around since the beginning of time, I swear. Like, there's one meat-free food we had. This was it. I got some hummus. It's a staple in a lot of vegans' diets, and I feel like I've just been using it for the longest time. I got some chickpeas, bananas, couscous. I love couscous. Got the vegetable quarter pounders because this is what I feel like vegan burgers were back in the day. They were a lot more like that. And I also got some tofu. This particular one at Sainsbury's, they weren't doing their own brand tofu back in 2007, but I feel like Cauldron maybe did something really similar. I feel like this sort of texture where it's like, it says it's super firm, but it's not as firm as like tofu. It's a sort of texture of tofu that was the easiest to find back in the day. So I wanted to pick this one up just because I felt like that was the vibe. I was out getting my nails done this morning, and these are so cute. They're like little daffodils, so I bought some daffodils to go with my daffodils. They're like one of my favorite things about spring. I'm gonna roast some pepper alongside one of these little veggie burgers, and I'm gonna just have like a little pita burger lunch. But slicing up this pepper has reminded me, like back in the day when you'd go out for dinner and you go to a restaurant, you'd kind of like call up in advance saying, hello, I'm vegan. They'd often kind of have to make something for you. And one of the most common dishes would be a stuffed pepper. Like they'd cut a pepper in half, stuff it with like rice and veg, and it'd be nice, to be fair. It's been forever since I've had a stuffed pepper. And yeah, it's going in the oven for 25 minutes. Can we all agree there is nothing in the world more annoying than these new hummus lids? Like having to do this. Like, I'm all for reducing plastic, but I don't think this was the place to start. I think it's very annoying. Spring onion and some pita bread. Oh yeah, this feels so classic. Honestly, any sort of veg with pita and hummus. Yeah, and these burgers are basically like flour, potato, sweet corn, peas, onion, red pepper, carrot, you know, like a very vegetable-y burger. Everyone used to say they couldn't go vegan because they've missed burgers too much and that these didn't count as real burgers, and then we come up with amazing vegan burgers and everyone's like, oh no, it's ultra processed. I love a burger like this though, and I feel like I haven't had one in ages, so I need to actually start buying these more often. I'm not gonna lie, I'm just in a comfort food mood tonight, so I am gonna make bangers and mash. It is like my favorite meal. I loved it as a child, and when I went vegan, we had Linda McCartney there sorting me out. Even back in 2007, where I could, I was definitely making the comfort meals, and anything that I could veganize from my pre-vegan days, I was veganizing it, or my mum was. So yeah, we're just gonna make some bangers and mash, and you know, like the Linda McCartney sausages were around back in 2007. Vegan milk, vegan butter, all staples thanks to the dairy-free crowd. I know, I always feel very grateful for the the dairy-free community. They definitely made our lives a lot easier and really set a good groundwork for us. And back before anyone knew what veganism was, we're really piggybacking off of their products. I believe the regular Bisto has like always been accidentally vegan, but when I first went vegan, we were buying the green one for ages, the like vegetable gravy, because we just never would have assumed this one was. You know, as the vegan movement grew in the UK, or like we started sharing more stuff on blogs and Instagram and Facebook and things like that I learned about a lot more accidentally vegan products. So yeah, I would have been having the green one back in 2007, but like, I hope you don't mind me using this. It's in my cupboard, it was available, it's just not what I was using. What a dinner. Yeah, these sausages, nothing like a real sausage, only in shape. A classic, a staple, an icon. So I kind of got called out recently for not really eating very seasonally, and sorry, no, it really wasn't being called out. It was more like just a question about whether or not I care about seasonality. And yeah, I do care, but I feel like I've always just been quite disconnected from it. I don't think it's anything we were taught at school. And, you know, I've got like a rough idea of like root vegetables in the autumn and winter versus strawberries in the summer. But generally the supermarkets don't help us out, right? Because like everything's available all year round. Yeah, I feel pretty disconnected with what is seasonal, and I didn't really like that. And I felt like it was a very good question, and it prompted me to start ordering odd box. Whilst I wouldn't necessarily say it was the best value for money, I do put off going to the shop, so every now and again I do run out of veg, and getting the extra small box, which is perfect for just like one little old vegan, is doing pretty well for me. I've just got my delivery overnight, and this is only my second week using them, but I am quite happy with it, and I think it is just quite good at getting me in touch with what's in season, basically. And yeah, so this is what I got this week. I've got salad leaves from the UK. And it also says like on here like why you've got them. But I also got leeks, and I got these because they were too small and they had too many, because the thing about odd boxes, they try and send you stuff that maybe the supermarkets wouldn't accept because they look odd. So these apparently too small. I think they're pretty decent size. Cauliflower, I got one because there are too many. And this is actually a very nice cauliflower. It's rare I see one this nice in the shops. Oranges from Egypt for being too odd and too small. Carrots, too many, too odd, too big. Apples, too odd, too many. Potatoes, too odd, too small, too many. Everything was from the UK except for the oranges, which came from Egypt, and I think that's a fine balance. I've got no complaints about that. Because it's just come through, I feel like I kind of need to make some room in my fridge. So we're gonna take out some of the fruits and veg that are starting to look a bit weaker, and we're gonna juice them. I love my like fresh little juices, and I think it's a really good way of reducing food waste. So where I've maybe been a bit overambitious about my fruit and veg lately, we're just gonna juice them and enjoy them. Yeah, I've got like apples, carrots, pears, oranges, red cabbage. I want to chop off the stalk of this broccoli, and then just a bit of like ginger, pepper. We're not putting the red onion in, and some cucumber too. Apples, blueberry, cucumber, broccoli, and we'll pop this pear in a sec. Cheers. Very sweet, very refreshing, very lovely. Oh, and I can really taste the pear. Yeah, so these are blood oranges, which look just so, so cool. And I'm still a bit sick, so I'm glad to be getting some vitamins in with this next one. So we've got blood orange, carrot, ginger, and red cabbage. Yeah, I just got about 2 and a bit from that juice. It should be really good for like vitamin C and stuff like that. So, and it's lovely little red colour. And for breakfast, I'm gonna make porridge. I am again kind of like cheating the rules a bit. Products like this were around back in the day, but not this specifically. So this is apple and almond instant overnight oats from Deliciously Ella. The ingredients are literally gluten-free oats, almonds, date powder, apple, chia seeds, cinnamon. So this is very like Whole Foods 2007. I really feel like it fits the vibe. So yeah, forgive me for using this. Oats, non-dairy milk, and some of my pears from yesterday. I feel like these would taste so good with the Oatly Greek yogurt, but unfortunately I feel like the like vegan Greek yogurts, the thicker ones, just weren't around when I first went vegan. I think we did have some of the Alpro yogurts, but my preferred ones definitely were not about. So I'm gonna have to concede on that today. Oh, lovely. Very cute little breakfast. Yeah, I feel when people know how long I've been vegan, like their first question is often like, how hard was it back in the day? And it was tough, I'm not gonna lie. You did have to like call up in advance, say that you're vegan, explain what it is, and get something they're able to mix up on the day, normally like a stuffed pepper or like a couscous dish or a tomato pasta or roasted aubergine. And sometimes I actually do miss those sort of dishes, which were a bit more simple. And if you actually got a chef that knew how to cook with vegetables, it was really nice. But yeah, just not nearly as much available, not nearly as much like awareness of even what a vegan was. But the other question I often get is like, was it healthier to be vegan back in like 2007? And I would say it was a lot easier to be healthy on a vegan diet, but that did come at a huge convenience cost. And yeah, it was absolutely easier to be healthy on a vegan diet back in 2007 because you were just forced to cook pretty much everything from scratch. I do think when you're at home cooking all the time, you see how much like salt and sugar and butter that is going into your food. You generally are more likely to cook a bit healthier. When I went from vegetarian to vegan, I did lose a lot of like convenience foods, and you do turn to stuff like chickpeas and vegetables and fruit. It was very rare that I had stuff like vegan cheese on pizza or cake or any more sort of like junk food indulgent foods. Like if I wanted cookies, I had to make them at home, and how often are you bothered to do that? And yeah, my health improved. I was only like 13 at the time, so I wasn't one of those 13-year-olds that was actually very conscious of how much she weighed or anything, but I was conscious of my skin, and I noticed my skin got a lot clearer. I was still like struggling with spots, and I struggled with spots pretty much throughout secondary school, throughout uni. But yeah, I think ditching dairy was a huge help. And yeah, I was always a bit of a like chubby child, and I definitely lost some weight when I went vegan. It wasn't something I noticed, but other people did. Like, everyone was commenting on it, and I don't think it was a drastic amount. Just I wasn't like slim and got skinny. I was just like a bit chubby and got slim, I guess. And yeah, I wasn't like, you know, going to the gym, or I wasn't in a sports team or anything. The only way I had to kind of like measure my health, which I wasn't even trying to do, it wasn't something I cared for, but I did notice like every year would do this like one long run, the 1500, and I always found it hell. I didn't start like running until my like mid-20s. When I was in year 8 and we did it, I was very much back of the class, like in the bottom 3, and we were all very close by each other in the bottom 3. And then in the next year, making no changes other than going vegan, I did get into more like, still in the bottom half, but like the upper end of the bottom half of the class. And everyone noticed, everyone was like, oh, you're better at running. And I was like, yeah, I guess so. So yeah, those were like my sort of untracked, naive experiences and memories of when I first went vegan and eating the 2007 vegan way. If anyone else has been vegan for like a long time, I'd say kind of like pre-2014, I'd be so keen to hear your thoughts on like the old school vegan diet versus like nowadays where it's a lot more convenient. I will say I do love not being such a burden when going out for food. Like, my family and my friends, they respected me, but you do feel bad every time they have like a birthday meal out, and they'd have to kind of like make sure that wherever they picked had a vegan option. That was not an easy thing back then, so they might end up having to go to like their third choice of restaurant just so that I could come along. And I'm just very grateful for that. I'm grateful that my friends, you know, went the extra mile rather than letting me sit there with a little side salad all night. And I'm just glad that veganism is so mainstream now that I'm not really putting them in that position anymore. And whilst I'm down here, I'm gonna get started on lunch. I'm gonna make a leek and potato soup, inspired by my odd box. But yeah, I've only got like my NutriBullet to blend up a soup, and you have to wait for it to cool down for you to blend it. So I'm gonna kind of like heat up the ingredients, and then I can let it cool down and blend it and have it for lunch. Got this gorgeous garlic olive oil. And then we're gonna put in the leeks. Yeah, I just need to chop off some of these, what do you call them, growths? Roots? I need to tidy up my potatoes, basically. I actually do not know if there were vegan stock cubes back in the day, but I'm gonna assume they were either accidentally vegan stock cubes or that you could get them in a health store. Potatoes and stock. And I'll give this 15 to 20 minutes. Oh, it's looking so good. And I love a potato soup. I find it just is that little bit filling. You know, I couldn't do just leek soup, I don't think. Okay, I've let it cool down. It's time to blend it up. And then right back in. This doesn't look very good, does it? I swear it's gonna taste nice. Sorry, I feel like this is turning into such a haul video, but I did a little ethical consumer order the other day, and it has just arrived. Oh, basically, I wanted to order some eco-friendly white vinegar for cleaning. One, my local Sainsbury's doesn't sell this, but I can't drive, so this is not something I want to carry. So I ordered that, and what else did I get? Got some like bicarb of soda for cleaning as well. I ordered a few vegan things, and we're gonna see which of these things I feel like have been around long enough. But I will say that, here we go. I feel like Marigold have been around for as long as I can remember, so I got their stock powder. So that answers my earlier question, so clearly I forgot a bit about this. And I also got their cheese mix. I might do a little bit of research into these, double check when they were founded. But I do feel like they're allowed. Oh, I got their braised tofu. This is, if not 2007, this feels vintage, and Holland & Barrett always had stuff like this in, and it was so good. This one I'm very confident does not count. I got some vegan tuna. Oh, I love this stuff. Although Suma's have been around since 1977, I don't think their vegan chicken soup has, and I'm so excited to try this. But this is just one of those things where you know you're doing a big order, so you're just like going through the site and seeing what else you might want to grab. I love these crisps. I don't remember these being around that long ago. I got a really nice pesto. I think I got 2 pestos. Yeah, I decided to try out a couple of different vegan pestos. I think I've said before, I don't really love the Sackler one that is in the supermarkets, but it's the one that's there. So I thought, whilst I was doing a big order, might as well grab some extra pestos. I got a little hairband that is fair trade cotton. Okay, it's a bit skew whiff right now, but you get the vibe. You understand? You understand the idea. And then, oh gosh. And then I got the cutest little Mr. Melon, little Miss Go Green, so I'm gonna give this to my nephew. This one's printed on vegetable-based inks, and I'm just hoping the story is a bit greener. About watering your garden, not leaving the lights on, avoiding food waste. He never cooked more food than he needed. Collecting rainwater for your garden. Yeah, I'm quite excited for this. Yeah, I think it's quite cute. Yeah, I'm really happy with this little haul. And yeah, I'll make sure to leave a link down below for like the products in the store. So yeah, it was ethical superstore, and like everything in here that they used for packaging was recyclable. I feel like this is real 2007 vibes, like literally finding like the one eco store, doing your shopping online, kind of stocking up on your vegan items that way. Oh, it did mostly come down to this. But yeah, we're reviving my cleaning game. Spring mode is activated. When you order from brands that use non-plastic tape and you don't have to worry with your recycling. Oh my God, I love it. So I am off for dinner tonight. I'm off to Mildred's in Dalston. And whilst, oh, this is another one of those like, okay, we're trying to do 2007 and 2025, but Mildred's is a vegan restaurant now that has been around since the 80s, and it used to be a vegetarian restaurant. I'd say they are veterans of the vegan space in London, so I feel quite comfortable going to this tonight. It's an International Women's Day supper club, hosted by, I believe, the Brown Vegetarians. And it's going to be like an Indian meal. But on the way there is my friend Charlie, so I'm heading to Charlie's a little bit in advance, and we're just going to have a bit of a catch up. And yeah, I'm a little bit peckish, so I'm taking along a melon, which we're going to cut up and enjoy. What's that? I bought a snack.
What's that? Grapefruit?
Is it grapefruit? I thought
Or
it was
is it
melon.
a melon? It's a melon. I don't know.
Thank God. Grapefruit or melon?
I've never done a melon before.
Oh really?
What, just going down the middle like that?
Yeah, and then we'll do quarters and maybe eighths.
Cute.
Yeah, a melon.
That's definitely a melon.
You're a melon.
The biggest melon.
Oh, my little socks. Really made myself at home, didn't I?
Yeah.
Beans on toast, one of the most British meals ever, is accidentally vegan. When I first went vegan, my big resources were like the PETA website and then the Viva website, and I feel like one of them must have had on their like homepage for helping Brits like go vegan or feel not too intimidated about going vegan, just something saying like beans on toast is vegan. Your world's not gonna change. You can still have beans on toast, and yeah, if I was hungry, I could fry up some like mushrooms, cook up some hash browns and some Linda McCartney sausages, and then you got to fry up. And I absolutely do believe that having a meal like this, be vegan, did just make it all feel a bit easier and achievable. Let me have one of my juices as well. Voila! I really do remember this, and I remember it kind of being like my go-to. If anyone was like, so what do vegans even eat? I'd be like, we have beans on toast. And then there became that point where like, I finally saw what other vegans were eating, like with social media. When Tumblr and Instagram were becoming a bit big around like 2010 to 2012, I just really felt like I had gotten veganism wrong, because this is what vegan food was to me. Like beans on toast for breakfast and couscous and veg for dinner, or I don't know, Linda McCartney bangers and mash. And then Tumblr and Instagram kind of showed me this, I'd say like Australian white girl, skinny beach version of veganism. Taken to the complete extreme, you've got like Freely, the banana girl, who would literally just eat like dozens of bananas a day. But yeah, just like a lot of people were having like smoothie bowls and like raw till 4 and stuff like that. And I wasn't even doing raw at 9 a.m. And I just really felt like my version of veganism was wrong, which was so silly, but obviously I was still like a teenager and very insecure. But I feel like the premise behind that, as social media has continued to be aspirational in so many ways, and like, don't get me wrong, like veganism online is a lot more diverse these days, and you can see any cuisine, any lifestyle, any calorie intake doing a vegan diet. Junk food vegans, whole food vegans, professional chefs that are vegans, like there are so many people out there. But one of the reasons I even started filming like my what I eat in a week is because every time I'd go online, I just felt kind of isolated and wrong for what I was eating when, you know, I'm only spending 10 minutes cooking a meal. It's not my job to create recipes online. I'm just like making breakfast and eating it and getting on my day. I just didn't think there was anything like kind of like middle of the ground realistic enough out there to watch. And that's kind of what I wanted to do. I wanted to be the page I could find that made me feel like what I was eating was okay. Yummy. So if I looked really tan earlier, it's because I had this gradual tan from Bondi Sands. And I love it. Yeah, big fan. But yeah, it's time for lunch and I'm gonna do a tofu stir fry. Very classic. Gonna make a like soy orange sauce. I'm out of soy sauce, so we're gonna throw in Worcester sauce. Maple syrup. And a little bit of chili oil. I've never made this sauce before, but this is kind of like, I feel like either the pre-made sauces went vegan back when I first went vegan, or just like the online sharing of accidentally vegan foods was not what it is now. So if they were available, I had no idea. If you want to do this better than me, I recommend squeezing the orange instead of blending it, but nah, life's too short. Ooh, surprisingly delicious. Hot though. Tofu, just pressing out the water. So in this tray I've got cauliflower and tofu, and I'm just gonna cover it in this orange spicy sauce. And into the oven it goes. Ooh. And now adding in the cauliflower and tofu. And I've just put some like black salt and black sesame on top as well. Yeah, I baked the tofu because it is a bit soft. I find that when you stir fry it, it often crumbles down. So I just wanted to keep it kind of structured. Oh, it's so nice and orangey. The orange sauce turned out so nice. And yeah, just to dust to your taste, you can add more spice, you can add more orange, you can add more syrup. You can make it saucier in general. But no, this is lovely. You can see my daffodils blossoming. So pretty. This was once a jug, but I accidentally broke it. I got it from a charity shop and it just did not survive the journey home, even though it was wrapped up. So now it's just a little jug and it works really well with yellow flowers. But anyway, yeah, I think I'm gonna cut off there just so I can get this edited and out to you guys. But I hope you enjoyed eating 2007 vegan with me. I've really enjoyed this video, and there's still a few things I don't think we've really touched on. So if you guys are interested, I would love to do like a sequel, a part 2, or make this a bit of a series. I can even take you through an old cookbook from the era, like my very first vegan cookbook. There's a lot more we can do with this, and a lot more recipes I'm keen to revisit, and habits I'm keen to revisit. So if you're down, I'm down. Oh, I could even show you what I used to take to school every day, like my little vegan pack lunch. But anyway, yes, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye. Mwah.